a calm, older, corporate drone, socially awkward witch. Because of an unemployed youth she accidentally picked up, her peaceful corporate life is thrown into chaos. This homeless, hopeless delinquent actually yearns for the witch with all his heart. But this secret must never be known to the witch. A witch who has been single since birth and never thought of signing a contract with anyone, only wanting to continue her single life. Just like that, she gets stuck with him, thus beginning a difficult romance with an uncertain future. Ryan's enjoyable corporate drone routine unexpectedly meets with an accident on this day. A secret hidden for many years is also discovered by Shu. Because Ryan is not an ordinary person, her true identity is actually a witch. And so, two people who originally had nothing in common become tightly entangled by a fateful encounter. They must not only share a secret that belongs only to them, but even sign a contract. Could this be the legendary magic of love? But unfortunately, this love story is destined not to be smooth sailing. Shu, as a rebellious youth of the feral cat type, has only one dream: to rule the entire street. And Ryan, as a standard corporate drone, just wants to live an ordinary, inconspicuous life every day. No one should even think of disrupting the daily life she has painstakingly built. But this romance is too difficult. Perhaps a tiny bit of warmth can awaken the longing and hope of the past. As long as you pray sincerely when you are in real trouble, you will surely receive the help of a kind witch. Just a little bit of companionship can dispel the loneliness of the night. In the long run, you will surely win the witch's heart. But sometimes the witch doesn't want to talk and will even quickly fall into a deep sleep to prevent being disturbed. Ryan, as the protagonist of the story, is just an ordinary office worker. She will also feel anxious about being late, because if the meeting documents are not delivered, she could be fired. To save her job, she can only ride her magic broom towards the company. The magic broom will remind her to put away the magic when she is about to enter the downtown area. She lands smoothly in a secluded alley, not forgetting to put away the broom with magic. When not using magic, she is just one of the ordinary office workers. Not only can she successfully blend into human society, but she can also get along well with humans. Seeing that time is almost up, she can't find the location of the World Trade Tower, no matter how she tries. Just then, Shu, sleeping on the street, opens his sleepy eyes. As the male protagonist of this story, his dream is to rule this street. However, the prerequisite for realizing his dream is to fill his stomach. He hasn't eaten for 3 days. Between reality and his dream, he must think about how to survive. He hears whispering sounds behind him. Why is that delinquent still there? I heard there have been many theft incidents recently. Hearing people discussing him, he feels very disdainful. After all, his goal is to maintain the peace of the entire street. Just then, he spots the real thief. The thief is stealing Ryan's phone. He decides to rid the public of this pest, bring the thief to justice on the spot, and clear his own name at the same time. No sooner said than done. He rushes forward in a single bound, about to snatch Ryan's phone back. Unexpectedly, his movement is too swift, and for a moment, he fails to grab the phone. At this moment, the commotion behind her also catches Ryan's attention. She hurriedly turns her head to look, only to see her phone tracing a beautiful parabola in midair. Seeing the phone about to slip through his fingers, Shu prepares to grab the phone charm. However, an accident still happens. The fragile phone charm is unexpectedly broken by his pull. Ryan, who witnessed all this, only has time to shout, "Oh no." She hasn't yet realized what is about to happen when she sees her own finger starting to glow. The thief who was stealing the phone just now is completely out of it, until 2 living people disappear from right before his eyes, just like a magic trick. At the same time, a loud noise erupts from the witch's castle. Ryan, holding the documents in her arms, falls directly on top of him. It turns out the phone charm on the phone is a teleportation talisman exclusive to witches, which can only be used in critical moments. The furniture on the side is incredibly excited to see her return. The master actually brought a human home. Quick hide. She looks at the furniture pretending to be still life and suddenly feels a bit helpless. She takes off the magic hat on her head and can't help but start to complain. I was about to deliver the documents. It's all this meddlesome human's fault. Portia doesn't hear her complaint because he is already at death's door. Only then does she realize things are bad. Because if a witch harms a human, her witch license will be revoked. Time is tight. She can only use healing magic first to pull Shu back from the brink of death. She scratches her head awkwardly, not expecting humans to be so fragile that they can't even withstand teleportation magic. A sudden burst of curiosity prompts her to lift Sh's clothes. The body that meets her eyes makes her, a single since birth dog, suddenly blush. Shy, she hurriedly puts the clothes back down, but accidentally, she uses a bit too much force. The unconscious Shu directly spits out a mouthful of blood. The furniture behind them is even more stunned. What is the master doing? Could she be silencing a witness by murder? She is very angry now, because the teleportation talisman is a lifesaver for escaping in emergencies, and now it has been broken by this human. Suddenly, the preset alarm clock rings. She exclaims that things are bad because the documents haven't been delivered yet. To save this job, she can only use her own magic. The correct casting sequence is to first summon the magic wand, then take a deep breath, and finally recite a long string of obscure and difficult to understand incantations. And the reason she doesn't like casting spells is precisely because the magic incantations are too embarrassing to recite. Before long, the unconscious Shu slowly opens his eyes. He still doesn't know what happened, only feeling incredibly sore all over. The furniture that sees this scene is startled. The human the master brought back is awake. The sudden sound makes him a bit confused. He looks around and finds that he is the only one in this room. What sound? Could it be a hallucination? He tries hard to remember where he is now, not noticing at all that a ball of bright light has appeared in front of him. The next second, Ryan, who has successfully returned after delivering the documents, startles him. The two can't help but lock eyes, and even the air around them becomes ambiguous. Ryan's heart is pounding with nervousness. Her spellcasting process was actually seen by a human. He is even more scared out of his wits, unable to even speak clearly. H, how did you appear? Just like that. The story of the corporate drone, which Ryan and the delinquent youth Shu officially begins here. Ryan picks up her magic wand again, preparing to cast a memory-erasing spell. Please forget my identity as a witch immediately. Seeing her serious face, Shu suddenly becomes a little curious. Wait a minute, you're not going to say you're a witch, are you? Ryan stops her spell-casting motion and answers decisively. That's right. So you can't see me casting spells. As soon as her voice falls, he bursts out laughing on the floor. The moment he opens his mouth, it's naked mockery. It's the 21st century. How can someone still believe they are a witch? He laughs while pointing at Ryan's clothes. Do witches wear uniforms? And you look like a 30-year-old auntie. This barrage of criticism completely breaks Ryan's composure. He is still gloating on the side. Annie, do you really think I'm a 3-year-old child? Then I'll believe the fairy tale you just made up? When he was very young, he did indeed hear the word witch in fairy tales. He looked at his mother curiously. Mom, are there really witches with magic in this world? A smile appeared on his mother's face. Of course. Witches possess incredibly powerful strength. His mother stroked his head. When you need help, as long as you pray sincerely, a kind which will come to help you. As a young boy, although he didn't know if this sentence was true or false, he still kept it firmly in his heart. It wasn't until he grew up that he finally understood that witches were just a joke, because when he was in trouble, the witch never appeared at all. Ryan can't stand it anymore, waves her magic wand, and makes all the surrounding objects float. I'll let you see the power of magic right now. He can't help but widen his eyes, not expecting that magic really exists in this world. Even the furniture has grown facial features and can even talk to people. But he didn't expect that the moment the furniture opened its mouth, it would scold him. Stupid human. Do you know what manners are? Looking at Ryan at this moment, her face is gloomy and her whole body is filled with killing intent. At this point, he has no choice but to believe that witches really exist in this world. After Ryan proves she can do magic, she is about to continue casting the memory-erasing spell. But before the incantation is finished, he grabs her magic wand. He plans to make good use of Ryan's magic. Just now your cup said that the injuries on my body were all caused by you, right? Seeing Ryan not answering him, he directly starts his performance. My leg hurts so much. It must have been broken when you crushed it. After acting for a while, he gets straight to the point. You made me like this. Don't even think about getting away with it without paying some medical fees. Seeing his shameless behavior, Ryan suddenly becomes annoyed. So what do you want? He has a flash of inspiration. Before my injuries heal, you're not allowed to kick me out, and you can't erase my memory. You have to be responsible for me. After stating his demands, he generously returns the magic wand to Rhine. Rhine's revenge is also simple. A snap of her fingers summons a cluster of flames, successfully burning his hand. After all, minor spells don't require chanting incantations. Although the burn on his body hurts, his goal is achieved. He wants to take this opportunity to use the witch's magic to become the strongest human on Earth. He even demands that Rhine cook his favorite dishes at mealtimes: a medium-rare steak and tiramisu. When Rhine is at work, he will also offer some suggestions. You're wearing this to work? Don't you have any cute dresses? Rhine looks at her phone message. The Witch Association reminds you, you have been deducted 2 points from your license for using magic to cause harm to a human. She then recalls Article 107 of the Witch World Regulations. The use of harmful magic on humans is prohibited. Revealing one's identity is prohibited. Causing social unrest among humans is prohibited. It's not until evening that this war without smoke finally comes to an end. After eating and drinking his fill, he begins to praise Rhine's cooking skills. Did you make this dinner with magic, or did you cook it yourself? As soon as Rhine says she cooked it herself, he immediately changes his tune. Your skills still need improvement. Rhine can only endure all of this. She takes him back to her bedroom. The moment he sees the bed, he gets all excited, but the expected softness does not come. It turns out Rhine used magic to freeze him in place. After some negotiation, Rhine wins a great victory. This is my bed. You can only sleep on the floor. He pulls at his blanket with great dissatisfaction. What's with this blanket? It's wrinkled like a piece of rotten, pickled vegetable. He suddenly has a flash of inspiration. Since you're a witch, conjuring a bed should be possible, right? I don't want to sleep on the floor. The only response he gets is the sound of Rhine's steady breathing. Hey, how did you fall asleep? It's not until half an hour later that he reluctantly drifts off to sleep. Rhine's ears finally return to peace. This annoying guy is finally asleep. Looking at his sleeping back, Rhine can't help but feel a little puzzled. Are all humans so unafraid of death? How dare they freeload in a witch's house and not leave? Seeing him kick off the blanket, Rhine even gently covers him up again. Unexpectedly, he was also pretending to be asleep just now. The next morning, Rhine's scream pierces the sky. She was seen standing there with an innocent look on his face. Are you witches always this energetic in the morning? Seeing him like this, the anger in Rhine's heart ignites directly. Her cold voice contains no trace of warmth. Did you write all these work proposals? He hurriedly hugs the documents in his arms. I couldn't sleep last night. I had nothing to do, so I helped you finish the proposals. You don't have to thank me. At this moment, Rhine is in no mood to listen to his sophistry. She tears all the proposals he wrote to shreds. Although the Witch World regulations state that witches cannot harm humans, Rhine can't be bothered with that anymore. Before he can react, Rhine grabs him by the collar. She then summons her magic broom. The two of them circle and dive continuously in the sky. Rhine already sees him as a thorn in her side. Moreover, he's more of a hindrance than a help. She thought this would teach him a lesson, but unexpectedly, he still has the mind to enjoy the pleasure of flying. Rhine really can't stand his strange cries. Shut up. If you scream again, I'll throw you down. Although he has obediently shut his mouth, Rhine still throws him down when they land. He can't help but start to gaze in the direction of the castle. I really didn't expect this broom could fly so far. As soon as he finishes speaking, he looks at Rhine again. Witch, where are we going next? Rhine helplessly spreads her hands. You must go back to the city now. That's where you humans live. After leaving these words, Rhine rides her broom and leaves. Only he is still out of the loop. On the other side, after Rhine returns to the company, she starts another day of work. A colleague comes over to ask about the progress of her plan. For a moment, she doesn't know how to answer. After thinking for a long time, she finally comes up with a good excuse. There was a bit of an accident at my house yesterday. I'll finish it soon. The colleague suddenly looks out the window. How did the weather change so suddenly? It looks like a storm is coming. I hope the rain stops soon. Buried in her work, she suddenly hears her colleague say, "The stray animals outside are so pitiful." Her expression changes, and she subconsciously thinks of Shu, who was abandoned in the wilderness. If he encounters a strong wind, he will definitely be blown away. Or maybe he's hiding next to a trash can, shivering while waiting for a kind person to feed him. If he dies just like that, he probably won't even have a place to be buried. Just as she is about to complain that humans aren't that fragile, her colleague beside her continues to speak. The big trees are being broken by the wind. After hearing this, she leaves the office in a hurry without a second thought. She can only pray silently now that the foolish human won't die in this storm. But when she rides her broom to the place where they separated, she finds that Shu is long gone. She then goes to the place where she first met Shu and finds no sign of him there either. Holding a tattered umbrella, she keeps searching for Shu on the streets. In her panic, she even forgets to chant the rain-repelling spell and gets soaked to the bone. Before she knows it, she has searched all the way from the city to her doorstep. Finally, in front of the castle gate, she sees Shu. The castle has no eaves to shelter from the rain, and Shu is also soaked to the bone. Hearing the movement, Shu hurriedly turns his head to look. When Shu sees her return, he hurriedly stands up to greet her. "How did you get back so quickly? You didn't skip work, did you?" As Shu speaks, he uses his foot to erase the graffiti on the ground. She suddenly feels that her worry was a bit unnecessary. "Didn't I tell you to go back to the city? Why are you back again?" She never expected that this human could actually remember the way to the castle. Suddenly, she notices a rose hidden behind Shu's back. Shu scratches his head awkwardly. "Don't misunderstand. This is an apology gift for you. I shouldn't have ruined your documents." Looking at the rose presented before her, she doesn't know if she should accept it. After all, this is the first time she has received a flower from a human. After much consideration, she decides to let Shu off the hook. "Let's just forget about what happened this morning. Come in and get out of the rain first." After returning to the castle, she thoughtfully prepares a breakfast and even conjures a soft bed with magic. The naturally friendly Shu is already chatting with the cup. "Were you sent by the witch for me to drink water from?" The cup asks in return, "How did you get through the dark forest? The terrain there is complex, even we get lost." And the secret to Shu not getting lost is precisely because he stole Rhine's gems and left a trail of markers along the way. After the two separated, he could find the castle's location by following the gem markers. As Shu is talking eloquently, he doesn't notice at all that Rhine is already standing outside the door. Furious, she directly waves her magic wand, intending to teach Shu a lesson. The next second, the large bed under Shu disappears. He is suddenly a bit confused. "Where did my bed go?" After night falls, a sneeze breaks the quiet night. Even she can't figure it out. It was just a little rain. "How did I catch a cold?" On the other hand, Shu, who is also in the rain, not only shows no signs of sickness, but is also energetically cleaning up. She wraps the blanket tighter around herself and hints at Shu with her words. "It's so cold. I feel like eating a bowl of hot curry." Unfortunately, being a straightforward guy, Shu doesn't get the hint at all. "Can't you just conjure a bowl with magic?" Hearing this, she looks troubled, but food conjured by magic has no taste. She looks at her impatiently. "As long as it fills your stomach, it's fine. If it has no taste, it has no taste." The next day, Shu, thinking about curry, goes to the supermarket alone. Looking at the expensive potatoes on the shelf, he touches the only $5 left in his pocket. He really wants to, but lacks the means. Just then, a stalker pushes him aside. "Excuse me, the special price potatoes have arrived." When he sees the price, his eyes instantly light up. 3 potatoes for $1. Heaven is helping me. For the sake of delicious curry. He can only obediently get in line. Suddenly, a noisy sound comes from behind him. An aggressive man is spouting nonsense. "All you commoners, get out of the way. I'm taking these potatoes to feed my pigs." A customer who can't stand it steps forward to argue with the man. "On what grounds are you cutting in line? Can't you see the queue?" The man looks at him with disdain. "On what grounds, you ask?" "On the grounds that I'm from the Strand family. The pigs I raise are more noble than you." He stands behind the female customer and weakly interrupts the argument between the two. Excuse me." The man glares at him angrily. "Where did this commoner come from? How dare you act wild in front of me?" Towards this kind of guy who bullies others based on connections, he never shows a pleasant face. "If you're not buying anything, then get lost." The man's arrogant flame is successfully extinguished by him. He can only curse wildly to save face. "You just wait, kid." On the other side, Ryan finishes a day's work with a tired body. She sniffs. "It seems my cold has gotten worse." Suddenly, the aroma of curry rushes into her nostrils, jolting her spirits. She follows the scent to the kitchen and finds Shu making curry rice. "It smells so good. Did you make this yourself?" Shu, who is concentrating on cooking, gets nervous when he hears her voice. He brings the curry rice to the table. "I was just practicing. It's not like I made it especially for you. I'll grant it to you since you went to work." She naturally understands Shu's insincerity. She takes the curry rice and starts eating it in big mouthfuls. When she hears Shu's stomach rumbling too, she generously offers the curry rice to him. "You should eat it yourself." Shu stubbornly turns his head to the side. "I'm not hungry, you eat." Look at what a state you're in. In a daze, she seems to feel the taste of being cared for. She thinks for a moment and decides to split the curry rice in half. This way, no one has to go hungry. She savors this bowl of curry rice. She didn't expect Sh's cooking skills to be this good, but her expression in Sh's eyes takes on another meaning. Is my cooking that bad? She quickly speaks up. It's delicious. This is the most delicious curry rice I've ever had. Thank you. Shu, who is suddenly praised, feels his face turning a little red. Shu keeps telling himself in his heart to calm down. He absolutely cannot be deceived by her cute appearance. Shu bites his spoon and casually brushes it off. It's just a piece of cake. Do you think no one in the world can cook? He is in a good mood now and can't be bothered to argue. All right, you're the best. Eat slowly, he says. While taking out a handkerchief, he wipes the rice grains stuck on Shu's face. The relationship between the two seems to have been elevated at this moment. However, this small gesture actually makes Shu explode with shyness on the spot. In her eyes, Shu is just a cute little animal. After dinner, Shu decides to accompany Ryan to the company for overtime, but he is very curious why they take the tram instead of a broom to go out. Ryan hurriedly explains, "You can't use magic in human society." Seeing that Ryan's face is still a bit pale, he gentlemanly extends his hand. "If you can't stand steady, just hold my hand." Unexpectedly, as soon as he finishes speaking, the tram suddenly brakes, sending him flying. But Ryan still stands firmly in place. This painful operation makes Ryan unable to help but laugh out loud. But the cold, combined with fatigue, makes Ryan a little unsteady on her feet too. The attentive him notices Ryan's discomfort. He turns around, leaving his back to Ryan. "You can sleep. I'll wake you up when we get there." Ryan doesn't insist this time and gently rests her head on his back. This strange sensation makes him feel like a deer is running wild in his heart. This is also the first time he has felt a sense of being needed. After an unknown amount of time, the tram finally arrives at the station. When the tram doors open, an old lady appears behind him. The old lady opens her mouth with words of thanks. "Young man, thank you. Thanks to leaning on you, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to stand steady." He almost bursts into tears after hearing this. He thought he could get a little closer to Ryan, but it turned out to be an old lady. However, his helpful behavior is also affirmed by Ryan. He even receives praise from Ryan. She calls him a good friend of humanity. Only then does he understand that Ryan just sees him as an animal. After getting off the tram, the two slowly walk towards the company. The crowd of people getting off work keeps bumping into them, unexpectedly shortening the distance between them a little. He suddenly feels a little uncomfortable and hurriedly quickens his pace, walking in front of Ryan. Just as he is about to break into a run, Ryan suddenly calls out to him, "You're going the wrong way. The company is over there." To cover up his embarrassment, he has to lie. "I walk this road often. I used to hang out in this neighborhood." Suddenly, a passerby carrying a large stack of boxes walks past them. Before the two can react, they're squeezed into a small space, unable to move. The flow of people keeps passing by, and every collision makes their hands touch unintentionally. He suddenly becomes irritable and stops a passerby. "Can you be a little more careful? You're crowding us." After a lot of twists and turns, they finally arrive at the company. He thinks for a moment and decides to wait downstairs. "You go ahead. I won't go up." Ryan is very puzzled after hearing this. "Why aren't you coming up with me?" He points to his hair, and Ryan instantly understands his meaning. "All right, your image is indeed not good for entering and exiting the company." After Ryan enters the building, he sits directly on a nearby treetop. The night is dark. He stands high up, surveying the neighborhood below his feet. Although the neon lights are brilliant, people are constantly coming in and out of the company for overtime. He doesn't understand at all why these people are willing to trade their dignity for money and be at the beck and call of others. Thinking of this, he secretly vows that he would rather starve to death than work for others. Just then, he sees Ryan walking out of the company. However, next to Ryan is the scheming President Luo. President Luo places his hand on Ryan's back. "Ryan, it's not that I don't want to sign this contract, but your company is asking for too much." Seeing President Luo getting closer and closer, she becomes a little anxious. Seeing this, President Luo changes his tune. "If you can give me some other benefits, I can reconsider this contract." All of this is seen by Shu in the tree. President Luo is still talking nonstop. You know, as long as you're willing to be with me, I'll sign immediately. As President Luo speaks, he gropes her waist with his hand. She can't watch anymore and decides to teach President Luo a lesson. President Luo still doesn't know what's about to happen and is still pestering her. Don't go. Let's talk about something else. President Luo grabs her. Ryan, you smell so good. Coincidentally, this sentence is heard clearly by Sho. The next second, with lightning speed, he shoves a handful of green landscaping plants into President Luo's mouth. President Luo can only desperately vomit out the grass. You kid, how dare you ruin my business? Who the hell are you? His face is cold, staring deadly at President Luo. My name is Shu, and I'm in charge of this neighborhood. You dare to act recklessly here. Are you looking for death? President Luo searches through the names in his mind, but can't find Shu. Which department are you from? I'm going to report this to your leader. Seeing that he isn't falling for it, President Luo starts threatening Ryan again. This deal has been in negotiation for so long. Don't waste everyone's efforts because of you alone. President Luo throws down a harsh word and wants to leave, but is stopped by him. His questioning tone is chilling. You mean to say that to close a deal, one must throw themselves at you? He then points to himself. If that's what it takes to sign a contract, then come and kiss me. Then give the business to her. Seeing the two arguing more and more fiercely, Ryan has to secretly cast a memory-erasing spell. The moment it takes effect, President Luo is bewildered. Who are you? How did I get here? Ryan hurriedly steps forward to talk to him. President Luo, let's talk about the business another day. After speaking, Ryan adds a few more sentences. Our supervisor will contact you later. We'll look forward to working together. Seeing that President Luo is still not leaving, she gives him an incredibly fierce look. President Luo has no choice but to turn and leave. All right then, we'll see each other again when we have the chance. After President Luo leaves, she can't help but ask Ryan a question. If I hadn't helped you just now, were you really going to let him do something to you? Ryan smiles slightly. If he had dared to make any further moves, it wouldn't have been as simple as just losing his memory. As Ryan speaks, she puts away her magic wand. After hearing Ryan's answer, he suddenly feels a bit regretful. If I had known, I wouldn't have saved that bastard. He follows behind Ryan like a shadow, step by step. Suddenly, Ryan's tone becomes a bit panicked. Let's go home quickly. He hears the fear in Ryan's words. Don't tell me witches are afraid of the dark too. I heard that strange things often happen on this road. When he learns of Ryan's weakness, he kindly extends an olive branch. As long as you can take me home, I'll do my best to protect you. He thought of many possible reactions from Ryan, but he never expected this one. Ryan is seen pulling his clothes like she's leading a small animal. The whole scene is incredibly comical. The weekend finally arrives, and Ryan decides to visit her friend Sunong's flower shop. The flower shop's business doesn't seem to be very good. Not many customers are willing to patronize it. Sunong originally wanted to recommend asters to her, because the language of asters is the happiness of being single. But on second thought, Sunong decides to switch to red roses. Red roses represent passionate love. It suits you very well. After hearing this, she hurriedly waves her hands in refusal. I don't want red roses, and I'm not in a passionate love. Sunong smiles slightly. I trust my intuition. My intuition tells me you've encountered a new romance. Seeing that she still wants to argue, Sunong directly takes out a crystal ball. Let me predict if you have any romantic luck. At this point, she is also very curious about what result the crystal ball will show. Sunong looks at the unresponsive crystal ball. Your future looks completely dark. She is a bit angry upon hearing this result. Could your crystal ball be broken? Although you can't force love, being told her future is completely dark still makes her a little sad. After much thought, she decides to tell Sunong about Shu. I did indeed take in a human, and it was out of necessity. I thought I was just taking in a small animal that would leave after the rainy season. But the rainy season has passed, and he shows no intention of leaving at all. He has even turned the tables and wants to be the master. As Sunong listens, a gossipy smile has already unconsciously appeared on her face. Sunong curiously asks her, is the human you're talking about the one with slightly messy hair and an earring? Her eyes instantly light up. Yes. Did you see him in the crystal ball? Sunong gestures with her eyes for her to look at the window. I didn't see him in the crystal ball, but I saw him in the glass. She wanted to eavesdrop on what the two were saying, but unexpectedly, he was invited into the house. Sunong very politely handed him a drink. Try this drink. I heard you've been cooking for Ryan these past 2 days. He politely refuses. Thank you. I don't like to drink beverages. If it weren't for my cooking, Ryan would have probably starved to death. Seeing that he won't drink, Sunong hurriedly says it's a witch's special. Only then does he pick up the cup and start drinking. It turns out Sunong secretly put a truth serum in the drink. As long as you drink it, you can't lie. Ryan's eyes are filled with worry. Sunong has to lean in and whisper comfortingly in her ear. It's just a magic potion. There are no side effects. Her gaze towards Sunong is filled with distrust. Why do I feel like you're just satisfying your own gossip cravings? While the two are chatting, he has already finished a glass of the drink. Sunong looks serious. Next, I'm going to ask you a few questions. What's your name? Where are you from? Where do you live? He answers Sunong's questions with a blank expression. My name is Shu. I used to be a wanderer on the streets. Now, I live in the witch's house. Seeing that the potion is taking effect, Sunong asks another question. Then why are you taking care of Ryan? He answers without hesitation, because I need her. Sunong's interest is immediately piqued. Why do you need her? Do you want to be with her? His answer is still sincere and natural. We have to be together. Sunong can't help but shed tears of emotion. Ryan, you've finally found someone willing to form a contract with you. He also looks at Ryan. Ryan, I won't let you down. You can rest assured. Sunong is already eager to shake his hand. I'll leave Ryan in your care from now on. While the three of them are having a pleasant conversation, they're unaware that a pair of eyes in the corner is staring intently at them. Before long, the effect of the truth serum wears off. He suddenly sobers up, not knowing what just happened. Just then, a man suddenly appears and kicks him away. It all happened too fast for anyone to react. Sunong hurriedly apologizes to him. I'm sorry. This is my contract partner, Arthur. He doesn't like me having contact with others. A contract partner, also called a contractor, can share the witch's eternal life and at the same time receive the witch's protection. Arthur keeps sniffing the lingering human scent on Sunong's hand. Seeing Arthur like this, he can't help but mutter to himself, why is this guy like a dog? Before they can say more than a few words, the two are secretly competing again. But the result is obvious. In this contest, they are both losers. Arthur takes the initiative to apologize to him. Sorry, brother. I don't like her picking up other people's scents. I'll find some herbs for your swelling later. Hearing about herbs, his eyes instantly light up. Can you find herbs here? Arthur proudly introduces. That's right, this is not just a flower shop, but also a place that sells rare herbs. He really can't stand the boastful look on Arthur's face. Although he doesn't say it, the envy in his heart is already overflowing through his eyes. He unconsciously looks at Ryan in the distance, wondering when he will be able to win her favor. Arthur, at the side, sees through his thoughts. It seems your relationship with your witch isn't going well. Do you want to improve your relationship with her? Hearing Arthur ask this, he hurriedly denies it. Nonsense. Who would want to have a good relationship with her? Coincidentally, Sunong's finger is pricked by a flower. Arthur signals him with his eyes that his chance has come. As a qualified contractor, protection is the most important thing. Arthur takes a bandage and wraps Sunong's finger tightly. Hiding in the corner, he deeply remembers this scene in his heart. Unexpectedly, his chance to perform arrives so quickly. Because Ryan's finger is also pricked, he hurriedly rushes forward, but his opening is a complaint. Oh, what a pain. He carefully holds Ryan's injured hand, slowly feeling her warmth. Arthur and Sunong are also cheering him on from the side, guiding him on how to operate. A moment later, Ryan looks at the luxurious, opulent flower made of bandages on her finger and feels a bit speechless. The result is predictable. He messed things up. Sunong and Arthur keep comforting him from the side. Keep up the good work. It's okay. It's not until the afternoon that a closed sign is hung on the door of the flower shop. He looks at Ryan with a puzzled face. The flower shop is closed. Why are you still dressed like that? Ryan adjusts her hat. Because guests from the magic world are coming. We must receive them in formal attire. Suddenly, Ryan sees something and curses at him. Get out of the way. It turns out the guest from the magic world is being stepped on by him. The Rat Clan messenger pats the dust off his body. You almost scared this rat to death. I thought I wouldn't be able to go home today. He never expected that a rat could actually talk. Sunong has also changed into a gorgeous dress and warmly receives the Rat Clan messenger. Welcome. May I ask what you would like to buy? Only then does the Rat Clan messenger start to talk about his experience. Some members of the rat clan have caught a cold. I ran to a human pharmacy to buy medicine, but they all got poisoned. When the rat clan messenger gets to this point, he almost cries. He takes out the package he carries with him. I only have these gold coins. Can I exchange them for some antidote fruits? Sunong immediately says no problem after hearing this. Of course you can, but you'll need to wait a moment because it takes some time to pick the antidote fruits. As soon as the rat clan messenger hears that his clan members are saved, he hurriedly offers his kiss of respect. On behalf of the rat clan, I express my highest gratitude to you. This scene makes Arthur, on the side, unsettled. That damn rat dares to kiss Sunong's face. Suddenly, the rat clan messenger looks at Rhine on the side. Are you Lady Rhine? Before Rhine can react, the rat clan messenger jumps onto her shoulder. You are one of the few witches without a contractor. It is a great honor to meet you. After the rat clan messenger finishes speaking, he offers the same kiss of respect. I also express my highest respect to you. This time, it's his turn to be unsettled. Damn rat, let go of me. The antidote fruit that the rat clan messenger wants to buy is also called the ripple fruit. This fruit hates magic, so it cannot be picked with magic. Rhine hurriedly calls him over to help. Hey, hurry up and come over. After hearing this, he refuses without a second thought. I don't want to go. It looks very troublesome. Just then, he hears the voices of Arthur and Sunong nearby. Sunong is sitting on Arthur's shoulders, and the two are cooperating with great chemistry. Right here, a little higher. I can't reach it. He knows he can't miss this opportunity again. Rhine, I'm coming. It's just picking fruits. Rhine looks at him with a slight smile. Then I'll have to trouble you to lend me your shoulders. He agrees decisively. I'll only lend them to you this once. You'd better cherish it. Rhine is not polite at all, standing entirely on his shoulders. Sunong, look at me. I've never seen such a big antidote fruit. Before long, Rhine starts to run out of stamina. Strange, why is this fruit so hard to pick? He supports Rhine with both hands, his voice full of exhaustion. You come down. I can pick it myself. After Sunong and Arthur finish picking the fruits, they walk over. Sunong's face is full of a happy smile. Where's Rhine? Why isn't she picking fruits with you? He helplessly gestures with his eyes ahead. Rhine, she went asleep. I picked the fruits myself. Arthur also notices the problem. You two don't seem to be getting along well. Have you not signed a contract yet? This question stumps him because he doesn't even know what a contract is. Sunong has to explain. After signing a contract, you can share the witch's life. The witch will also share a part of her magic power with you. As soon as he hears that he can obtain magic power, he gets all excited. Then how can I sign a contract? Arthur and Sunong suddenly fall silent, not answering for a long time. Sunong has a flash of inspiration. Of course, it's a kiss. As long as you and Rhine kiss, you can form a contract. Arthur realizes something is wrong. Seeing this, Sunong covers his mouth. Let's go pick fruits over there. There's still a lot of fruits. Unbeknownst to them, the rat clan messenger, hiding in the dark, has heard the conversation clearly. No wonder kissing the cheek didn't work earlier. It turns out you have to kiss the lips. If I can sign a contract with a witch, the prosperity of the rat clan is just around the corner. The rat clan messenger acts on his thought, swinging on a vine to kiss Rhine's lips. Just then, he walks over with a basket of fruits, scaring the rat clan messenger badly. Although the rat clan messenger has already pulled back his strength, inertia still sends him lunging towards Rhine. The scattered fruits fall to the ground, also waking the sleeping Rhine. The two lock eyes, and even the air becomes ambiguous. He nervously swallows his saliva, remembering what Sunong said. As long as we kiss, we can sign a contract. He feels his heartbeat accelerating and his blood boiling. As long as I kiss her, I can obtain the witch's magic power. And a witch can only have one contractor in her lifetime. Various thoughts occupy his mind, making him choose to give up directly. Forget it. The thought that forming a contract is so easy and Rhine is so unguarded makes him suddenly furious. He glares fiercely at Rhine. You better be careful. Don't make me remind you. You're not reassuring at all. Rhine is still out of the loop. Hey, what are you talking about? Hurry up and get out of the way. Arthur and Sunong are hiding in a corner nearby and accidentally discover the rat clan messenger. It seems our guest also likes to listen to gossip. After a lot of hard work, the antidote fruits are finally picked. Rhine is panting with exhaustion, her stamina at its limit. Seeing this, he feels very dissatisfied. You've been lying down the whole time, and that basket seems to be the one I picked. He wants to say more, but suddenly hears Sunong's laughter from not far away. Sunong is helping Arthur remove leaves from his head. Silly, how can you pick fruits in the bushes? Seeing this scene, he gets goosebumps all over his body. Why are they so mushy? I've really had enough. But driven by jealousy, he also messes up his own hair with his hands. He runs to Ryan's side with an expectant look, wanting Ryan to help him fix his hairstyle. Unexpectedly, Ryan directly summons her magic wand and uses magic to wash his hair for him. Looking at his shiny, greasy hair, he instantly regrets it. After being busy until late at night, the group gathers at the dining table for dinner. Arthur looks in the direction of the dining table with a very angry expression. He also looks in the same direction. Why is that rat here too? The Rat Clan messenger is not only sitting in a dining chair, but his posture looks very arrogant. Sunong hurriedly speaks up to ease the awkward atmosphere. It's okay. After all, the guest is hungry too. He and Arthur unanimously agree to personally slaughter this rat. Although Arthur is reluctant, he still goes to the small kitchen to prepare dinner. He also comes over to help and casually chats with Arthur about the Rat Clan messenger. You said that Rat's clan members are all poisoned. How can he still be in the mood to eat? He always feels that the rat looks sneaky and is definitely not a good rat. Arthur is silent for a long time, then suddenly stops chopping vegetables. The kitchen knife reflects a cold light, startling him. Unexpectedly, Arthur has grown ears and a tail. He is completely stunned. Why you're not human? Why do you have ears and tail? He takes a closer look and sees that the creature on the cutting board bears a striking resemblance to the Rat Clan messenger. A bad premonition winds around his heart. He shouts as he runs out of the kitchen. It's over. The guest has been slaughtered. Arthur touches his ears sluggishly. That damn rat made me so angry my ears popped out. It's just a plate of carrots and a thick sauce. Does he have to be so dramatic? The Rat Clan messenger has been secretly observing his movements. Unsurprisingly, the Rat Clan messenger mistakes him for Ryan's contractor. As long as I get rid of this kid, I can sign a contract with the witch. No sooner said than done. The dart thrown by the Rat Clan messenger at him gets stuck on the wall. He squats on the ground, looking at the suddenly appeared sticky mouse trap, feeling very confused. The Rat Clan messenger misses with one shot and throws a second dart. It still misses. Hearing the sound, he immediately turns around. Honored guest, so you're here. He tightly hugs the Rat Clan messenger. That's great. I thought you were slaughtered by Arthur. I didn't expect you to still be alive. The Rat Clan messenger feels his eyes getting a little moist because no one has ever cared about him so much. Seeing that the Rat Clan messenger is safe and sound, he waves his hand coolly. It's good that you're okay. I'm going to prepare dinner now. The Rat Clan messenger doesn't know that his every move is being watched by Ryan. Ryan strides forward. That's enough. You can't bully him anymore. What exactly do you want? Ryan's cold tone is chilling. The Rat Clan messenger hurriedly kneels and begs for mercy. I was momentarily possessed and wanted to form a contract with you. That human is the most suitable contractor for you. Ryan didn't expect the Rat Clan messenger to say this. What are you talking about? I don't understand. It's just a rat. How could it possibly understand what love is? On the other side, he has already brought the cooked food to the table. Ryan smells the aroma of the food and looks longingly at the spoon in his hand. He suddenly has the idea to tease Ryan. If you beg me, I'll let you have the first taste. Ryan doesn't speak, her eyes fixed on him. Seeing him so nervous, Ryan suddenly smiles brightly. Just kidding. Please let me have a taste. He can't resist such a warm smile at all. Although the witch doesn't quite understand things like love, she always manages to gain the upper hand. As soon as Sunong enters the kitchen, she sees Arthur constantly fiddling with his tail. It turns out Arthur is not human, but a dog demon. After dinner, the Rat Clan messenger, carrying a bag of antidote fruits, sets off on the road back. She suddenly stands up. Let me help you carry that. The Rat Clan messenger shows displeasure. Who would dare let you help? I can manage it myself. It's not until the Rat Clan messenger sees the trash in Shi's hand that he can only curse in his heart. Damn it. After everything settles down, Ryan finally tells them about Shu almost being assassinated. Sunong slams the table in anger after hearing it. And I even treated that damn rat with good wine and food. Arthur appears much calmer. Ryan is one of the few witches without a contractor. Shu naturally became a thorn in the damn rat's side. After hearing Arthur's analysis, Ryan also feels it makes some sense. Arthur thinks of another good idea. Ryan, you can give Shu a witch's token as a mark. This way it can be avoided. As soon as Shu hears about a token, his interest is piqued. What's a token? Arthur vividly tells the story of his first meeting with Sunong. At that time, he was beaten black and blue for stealing a sausage and was lying in the snow on the verge of death. He was coincidentally discovered by the passing Sunong. He mistakenly thought Sunong was also human and could only do his best to protect himself. He opened his mouth full of fangs, trying to scare Sunong away. But not only was Sunong not afraid, she even ran towards him. He later learned that Sunong was not human, but a witch. He excitedly takes out a bandage. This is the bandage Sunong used to wrap my wound back then. It's also the token between us. After hearing this, she takes out a rotten cloth strip. This is what Ryan used to bandage my wound when we first met. Can this also be considered a token? However, before he can finish his words, the cloth strip bursts into flames. Looking at the half-burnt rotten cloth strip, he is on the verge of tears. My commemorative cloth strip was just burned like that. Ryan's magic wand is still in her hand. This rotten cloth strip is really too unhygienic. I'll give you another token. He looks at Ryan with moved eyes, just about to say something to set the mood. But the next second, the atmosphere is broken by Ryan. How about I give you a new collar as a token? Even if you get lost, you can still call the number on it. He looks at Ryan with a puzzled face. Am I just a little kitten? The next day, Ryan, still thinking about the token, goes directly to the mall. To prevent Shu from being bullied by others again, she racks her brains but can't decide what to buy. Just then, a very suitable gift appears in her line of sight. She buys it without a second thought. After returning to the castle, she loudly calls Shu's name. Shu, where are you? Come out quickly. Hearing the voice, Shu slowly walks out of the room. What are you calling me for? She looks at Shu with a slight smile. I bought you a token. Carrying it with you can protect your safety. No sooner said than done. Shu snatches the shopping bag from her hand. What a hassle. I already said I don't need it. Although he says so, his action of unwrapping the gift is still very careful. Just as he is full of anticipation, wanting to see what gift Ryan bought. The scene before him suddenly leaves him a bit confused. He holds the lady's underwear in his hand like a hot potato. After hearing this, Ryan hurriedly hands him the correct gift. Wrong one. Wrong one. This is your gift. He looks at the amber necklace in the gift box, as crystal clear as Ryan's eyes. Speak of the devil. Ryan suddenly sits next to him, startling him. He senses that Ryan is in a bad mood and hurriedly asks for the reason. What's wrong with you? Is something bothering you? Ryan sighs with a troubled face. Oh, it's nothing. Just then, the bat, a messenger from the magic world, flies over with a message. The bat points its finger at him. Please bring your contractor to attend tomorrow's witch gathering. Ryan suddenly becomes flustered. Wait a minute. He is not my contractor. For Ryan, he is just an ordinary human and cannot appear at the witch gathering. After speaking, Ryan even gives him a look. Am I right? He looks speechless and turns to leave, but is stopped by Ryan. Wait a minute. You explain it clearly to him. Seeing his angry look, Ryan knows he must be angry without even guessing. He silently calculates in his heart. I can go, but I must go with Ryan. This way, others will think that Ryan already has a contractor, thus reducing many competitors. He secretly vows that he must possess the witch's magic power to attend the witch gathering. Ryan rummages through her closet and finds a dress she hasn't worn in years. He's playing video games on the side and doesn't forget to complain about Ryan's taste in clothes. Just wear whatever. They're all dark and ugly clothes anyway. When Ryan changes into an exquisite and luxurious gown, she looks like a blooming flower. Hearing the movement, he hurriedly turns his head to look. With just one glance, he sheds tears of emotion. So cute. I declare my love for the witch gathering. A smile suddenly appears on his lips, because such a cute Ryan will surely attract everyone's attention. At that time, he will directly take out the amber necklace and declare that he is Ryan's contractor. Unfortunately, before his beautiful dream is over, Ryan is about to leave. You be good at home. I'm going first. Although he is very wronged, Ryan still hardens her heart and doesn't take him with her. After all, his current appearance is really too embarrassing. He will definitely be laughed at by other witches. The witch gathering is held once a month, and all witches in the world must attend. At the gathering, they can not only exchange various magical materials, but also share their magical experiences. Ryan stands outside the main gate, desperately giving herself a pep talk, because she always feels that she doesn't fit in with the atmosphere of the gathering. The moment she pushes open the gate, inside is a harmonious and joyful scene. But she wants to run home after just one look, but is stopped by Cece. Ryan, where are you trying to run? What have you been busy with lately? Cece is best at gathering intelligence and naturally knows her current situation. He lowers his head in embarrassment. I haven't been busy with much. Just making PPTs, organizing work content into tables, and things like that. After hearing him, Cece is still confused. What are these things you're talking about? By the way, have you not found a contractor yet? He knows the question he's been dreading has finally come. He looks at the new young witches around him and can't help but feel a bit emotional. I'm not in a hurry. Living alone is also quite good. Cece gestures for him to look to the other side. Although living alone is good, having a contractor is also very important. Look over there. Cece tells him that today there will be a comprehensive evaluation of the contractors. Because magic power is shared, the choice of a contractor is particularly important. No matter how much Cece praises the benefits of having a contractor, he remains completely uninterested. When he hears that the third prize is a super energy pill that allows you to go without sleep for several days, his interest is immediately piqued. As long as I take the super energy pill, I won't be sleepy at work. Thinking of this, he hurriedly runs to sign up. I want to sign up. I want the third prize. At the same time, Shu also quietly arrives at the gathering place. Because Sunong is sick, Arthur can't go with her, so he gave the extra formal wear to him. He originally wanted to lie on the roof to see what was going on inside. Unexpectedly, he steps through the roof and, under the watchful eyes of everyone, falls from the sky into the gathering. At this time, Ryan is still looking at the super energy pill for the third prize. Discussions erupt all around. Oh no, a human has broken in. Several other witches are discussing. He looks like a new face. He probably isn't a contractor. Seeing this, Ryan hurriedly hides. Why is he here? This is too embarrassing. He hurriedly sits up from the ground, searching for Ryan's figure in the crowd. Seeing that no one is claiming him, a witch prepares to cast a memory-erasing spell. Before the incantation is finished, she is interrupted by another witch. We can't let him leave. If he leaves a message for the outside world, the consequences will be unimaginable. The witch points her magic wand at him. Kid, confess honestly. Have you told anyone about this place? Seeing that Shu is about to be interrogated, Ryan has no choice but to step forward. Please wait a moment. Ryan's face is red with embarrassment. Don't hurt him. He is my contractor. In an instant, everyone's gaze turns to Ryan. This feeling of being scrutinized makes Ryan feel like she has a lump in her throat. But he acts as if nothing has happened, exceptionally calm. Ryan subconsciously looks at him. As expected, Shu is still too strange. It seems I'm going to be laughed at. Ryan didn't expect that she would be the object of the witch's ridicule. For a witch as boring as her to actually find a contractor. It's hilarious. The harsh mockery makes Ryan lower her head in shame. His gaze turns sharp, very dissatisfied with these witches' evaluation of Ryan. How is she boring? As soon as his voice falls, he raises his hand to touch Ryan's hair, then caresses Ryan's cheek. In my heart, she is the cutest witch in the world. Although he helped Ryan out of a tight spot, the scene seems to have become even more awkward. The two can only pretend that nothing happened and look around blankly. Cece walks over and lifts his chin. Ryan, is this your contractor? He looks quite tender. Ryan looks at Cece's action and doesn't know why she feels annoyed, as if her own cat is being petted bald by someone else. He directly slaps Cece's hand away, his face full of impatience. Don't touch me. I don't know you. Ryan hurriedly comes over to smooth things over. Cece, where's your contractor? I don't see him. Cece looks towards a corner. My contractor is over there smoking. Cece's contractor is named Charlie, the CEO of a listed company. Cece has an agreement with him that they will not disturb each other's lives. Just then, the host of the gathering announces that the contractor test is about to begin. Ryan had a bad feeling. Because they hadn't signed a contract, they couldn't share magical power. He saw Ryan's worry and quickly comforted her. Don't worry. I'll do my best. Although he didn't know what the test would be, he was confident in himself. Ryan had completely lost the will to live, whatever you want. But I still have to thank you. Soon, the test began. The first round was a physical strength competition. Since he didn't share magical power with Ryan, he lost this match completely. The second round was a test of mental acuity. Faced with complex math problems, he had no chance of winning at all. Ryan, however, was very open about it. It's okay. I expected this result. It has nothing to do with you anyway. He lowered his head in disappointment. I just don't want you to become their laughingstock. After all, the results will be posted on the big screen. As soon as Ryan heard the results would be made public, she became nervous. But unexpectedly, Shio wasn't in last place. Cece angrily found Charlie. You're now last in the test results. Charlie took a drag from his cigarette. It's too boring. I can't be bothered. Cece had no choice but to turn her attention to him. Should we swap contractors? He refused outright. I belong to Ryan. Go away. While the three of them were bickering, the test moved on to the third round, a musical performance competition. When Ryan heard the test item, she was already on the verge of a breakdown, because the music played by a contractor with magical power could stir a witch's heartstrings. He went directly to the piano, raised his hands, and pressed the keys. Melodious and beautiful music flowed from his fingertips. Ryan was completely stunned. She never expected that Shio could actually play the piano. His every movement, every note, was a perfect performance. The witch next to them also showed a surprised expression. Ryan, your contractor is amazing. The tone he plays is so clean and clear. Ryan was already captivated, not even noticing when tears streamed down her face. The witch hurriedly reminded Ryan. Only then did Ryan come to her senses and wipe away her tears. I accidentally got sand in my eyes. His music came to an abrupt halt that were clearly indoors. Where'd sand come from? Just then, the test scores came out. Shio, unsurprisingly, received 5 stars. He stood up and looked at Ryan. What's wrong with you? Why are you crying for no reason? Then, he took out a piece of paper and slapped it on Ryan's face. Stop crying and wipe your tears. He then muttered a few more words under his breath. Crying so ugly. Ryan stared at him with wide eyes. Be honest. You didn't play that music just now, did you? Did you pull some kind of trick? He hurriedly defended himself. What nonsense are you talking about? I took special lessons when I was a kid. Although he told the truth, Ryan still didn't believe it. Shio kept tidying the clothes that Ryan had messed up. I told you. I played that music myself. But the good news was that because of that piano piece, Shio won 3rd place in the test competition. Ryan also successfully got the great restorative pill she had been longing for. Now she wouldn't have to worry about getting sleepy when working overtime. She subconsciously looked at Shio. She didn't expect him to be so reliable sometimes. At least not like Cece's contractor, who goes on strike whenever he feels like it. Meanwhile, on the other side, Cece was still complaining endlessly to Charlie that we're actually in last place. This is so embarrassing. A frustrated Cece found her to complain that I want to break the contract. She quickly interrupted Cece. Calm down. A contract can only be signed once. Cece's face was now full of regret. It's all my fault for being impulsive back then. I only signed a contract for the sake of face. Speaking of which, Cece's gossipy heart ignited again. How far have you and your contractor gotten? She, who hadn't even held hands, was suddenly at a loss for words. Well, for the sake of damn face, she could only make things up. Of course, our relationship is very close. Hearing her say this, Cece also felt a sense of relief that's great. So you two won't feel awkward later. A bad premonition surfaced in her heart. Awkward? Why would it be awkward? After the testing phase ended, the next stage began. The witches needed to kiss their contractors. After hearing this, she froze completely. How did she not know about this part? Shio's jaw dropped in shock. He stammered for a long time, unable to say a word. She simply gave up on managing her expression. What? What did you say? Kiss what? The host had no choice but to repeat it. The witch needs to kiss the contractor. It's considered a thank you gift. Aren't you in a contractual relationship? She had no choice but to brace herself and look at Shio. Come on, let's get this over with. Shio's brain was still frozen. Come on what? Her patience was running out. She closed her eyes and leaned in for a kiss. Shio quickly blocked her with his hand in alarm. Wait a minute, you stupid woman. Shio looked at her in horror. You couldn't have forgotten, have you? A kiss will sign the contract. After hearing this, she immediately retorted, who told you that? After her explanation, Shio finally realized he had been deceived by Sunong. There is only one correct way to sign a contract. The witch needs to say to the contractor, sign a contract with me. The contract is only formed when the contractor accepts the token. As soon as her words were out, she suddenly realized the token was already hanging around Shio's neck. The next second, a red string appeared out of thin air and streaked past her. Then it wrapped around Shio. The ends of the red string connected. The contract was officially formed. Her tears almost fell. What have I done? My innocence, preserved for so many years, is all gone. She threw herself into Cece's arms, crying, I regret it. I don't want to sign a contract with him. Shio, seeing this scene, suddenly felt a little sad. Was he really that bad? Cece was still trying her best to comfort her. Stop crying. Shio already tried very hard. He even helped you win the 3rd prize. Before Cece could finish, she was interrupted by a witch. This gem is for you. It turned out that Charlie, not wanting Cece to be sad, had spent money to buy the gem. This unexpected surprise made Cece very happy. Is it really from Charlie? That's great. Meanwhile, in the open space outside the Gathering's villa, a sports car was parked quietly. The driver looked at Charlie in disbelief. "Boss, did you really spend millions to buy that gem?" Charlie said lightly, "I saw she really wanted it, so I bought it. Whatever other women have, my woman must have too." Although Cece comforted her a lot, she still couldn't get over it. She had thought the contractor she chose would be an elegant and noble man. She never expected reality to be so cruel. Just in case, she took out a supplementary clause for Shio to sign. Shio leaned over curiously. He wanted to see what was written in the clauses. There are only 2 clauses. First, no overly intimate actions. Second, no genuine feelings. Shio gripped the pen in his hand tightly. It seemed that in this game of love, whoever falls in love first loses. However, Shio was confident he couldn't lose that I'll sign. "Anyway, all of this is easy for me to do." She smiled faintly and reminded him that there were 2 more pages of clauses. The more Shio read, the more his heart sank. The 3 pages could be summed up in 4 words: unilateral contract. She suddenly added another clause that, "If I find someone I want to spend the rest of my life with, you have to support me too." For a moment, Shio didn't know how to answer this question. Even after the gathering ended, he was still replaying it in his mind. Rhine is too much. How could she say something like that? He reluctantly flipped through the book in his hand. And now she's making me read about the rules and history of the magical world. He wanted to see just what kind of creature a witch was. After flipping a few pages, he successfully found the answer. It turned out that witches appeared 1,000 years ago. Seeing this, he suddenly laughed out loud. Rhine is probably an old hag by now. In the last century, witches were not only a symbol of wealth, but also holders of power. For a family to survive peacefully, it had to have the support of a witch. Witches would also sign contracts with the heads of families, granting them strength and wisdom. However, as families constantly fought amongst themselves, the witches successively went into hiding, becoming a kind of legendary creature. He looked at the knowledge in the book and suddenly realized that he would also become strong. He decided to go to the forest. "I'll test how powerful I am now." He ran under a big tree and tried to uproot it, but the tree didn't budge an inch. He then lifted a huge boulder, wanted to throw it, but his legs couldn't even stand straight. He was on the verge of a breakdown. "Oh, this is my true strength." While saying, "Damn it," he threw away a pebble the size of a grain of rice. He suddenly realized that Rhine hadn't shared her magical power at all. At this moment, Rhine had just finished her shower and hadn't had time to change her clothes yet. He pushed the door open and walked right in. "Rhine, why can't I use your magical power? Is it because you didn't share it with me?" For a moment, the atmosphere became a bit awkward. Rhine quickly got dressed. "We can't share magical power, probably because we don't have any feelings for each other. I can use magic." Shio cut her off. "Let's not talk about magic first. Why don't you close the door when you're changing?" She smiled nonchalantly. "It's fine. We're just in a contractual relationship anyway. Besides, I was wearing a tank top." A trace of imperceptible disappointment flickered in Shio's eyes. He walked right up to her. The sudden closeness made her a little uncomfortable. Shio stared intently into her eyes, then go on and change. "I'll just stand here and watch you." Shio's reaction felt strangely odd to her. She didn't know why, but she felt that today's Shio was weird. Shio saw her silence and finally spoke his mind. "Whether it's changing clothes or the contract, you haven't treated me like a person from beginning to end." As soon as he finished speaking, Shio turned and left in a huff. She watched Shio's back, also sensing his disappointment. Meanwhile, the stone Shio had thrown was still soaring through space. Unknowingly, the stone had already circled the Earth once. By now, the stone had turned into a meteorite from outer space, rapidly descending towards the old mansion. With a whoosh, the stone hit the roof of the old mansion. A final electrical box successfully stopped this visitor from outer space. However, the entire old mansion lost power because of this plunging into darkness. Afraid of the dark, she quickly called out to Shio. But Shio was still immersed in his song. "Don't call me. I want to be alone." Suddenly, he felt a soft touch on his waist. It was Rhine's arms holding his waist tightly. "Shio, don't go. I'm scared." The dark room was exceptionally quiet, with only the sound of 2 beating hearts. He turned his head to look at Rhine behind him, his expression full of concern. At this moment, Rhine's eyes were already filled with tears. She looked pitiful and helpless. He was about to say something, but unexpectedly, Ryan hugged him even tighter. He could barely breathe. Ryan loosened her grip slightly. The light wand is in the living room. His mood was like a roller coaster ride, full of ups and downs and excitement, because he was also afraid of the dark. The two of them finally managed to get to the living room. Only then did Ryan remember that the light wand wasn't in the living room. It turned out that during the gathering, she was crying her eyes out because of the unexpected contract formation, and Cece had held the wand for her. This meant the wand was now with Cece. After hearing Ryan's recollection, he was a little unhappy. Am I that bad? Was it necessary to make you so upset? Ryan's answer made him feel ashamed. You were really bad. A world of difference from the other half, I imagined. He muttered to himself in disappointment. If I had been able to grow up safely, maybe I could have become the ideal him you imagine. Ryan looked at him in surprise. He quickly added a few words that don't look at me like that. My parents were also very strict with me. At the mention of his father and mother, a trace of sadness flashed in his eyes. The former him was required by his parents to be graceful and kind, until one day, all the servants in the house suddenly left. The young him experienced the great ups and downs of life overnight. Because of the financial crisis, the entire family was implicated. His parents also passed away one after another in that catastrophe. Alone and helpless, he began a life of wandering. During his wandering, he also met many children like himself. However, the cruel reality made him realize that everything his parents had taught him was so ridiculous in the face of survival. Good manners were the original sin that led to him being humiliated and starving. After learning about his past, Ryan reached out her hand in sympathy, wanting to comfort this wounded big boy. But after being sentimental for no more than 2 seconds, he told Ryan again, "That day, when I went to collect my father's belongings, I found that they had left me a large sum of money." Ryan curiously asked after hearing this, "What did you do with that money?" He smiled, and with a proud look, told Ryan, "Of course, I used it to help orphans. Those were also my happiest and most glorious days." And he also found the simplest and most direct way to deal with bullies. That was to throw money at them. Almost everyone was subdued by his money. He looked at Ryan helplessly. In the end, my money ran out, and I had let out all my anger. No one in this town was willing to take me in anymore. After hearing this, Ryan couldn't help but want to make a couple of sarcastic remarks that I really can't sympathize with you. Then why didn't you go to work? Hearing the words, go to work, he suddenly became irritable that I couldn't work at all. Those things originally belonged to me. In his view, having to grovel for things he once owned was a bit too much for his pride to handle. Hearing his twisted logic, Ryan couldn't bear it anymore and gave him a big slap. Ryan looked at him angrily. "Don't ask me why I hit you. I'm just hitting you on behalf of all working people." The two of them argued for a long time. Seeing that this was not a solution, Ryan had no choice but to send a message to Cece to confirm the whereabouts of the wand. Only then did Cece remember this matter. Without thinking, she decided to deliver it personally. Just as she was holding the wand, tiptoeing and preparing to go out, she was unexpectedly stopped by Charlie. "You're not changing your clothes? Are you planning to go out like this?" She looked at her attire and felt there was no problem. Charlie saw her nonchalant look and suddenly became a little annoyed. "Don't you have anything you want to say to me?" Charlie's tone directly angered her. "What is there to say? You embarrass me so much today." Instead of getting angry, Charlie leaned in closer. "The black gem I bought for you. Can't that calm you down?" Charlie's sincere and affectionate gaze made her a little uncomfortable. After hearing this, she became even more dissatisfied. "You think you can buy me off with a stupid rock? No way. I'm changing contractors tomorrow." Charlie didn't seem to want to give her that chance. He went straight in and kissed her. This kiss made her forget that she was going to deliver the wand. After the passion, she only hated that her stance wasn't firm. To think she was bought off just like that. On the other side, Ryan and Shio were still waiting bitterly for the light to return. Afraid of the dark, she secretly leaned against Shio, only to be met with his mockery. "The contract says we're not allowed to have intimate actions." She could only reluctantly keep her distance from Shio. After all, she had written the contract terms herself. However, being naturally afraid of the dark, she was already trembling with fear. Shio, with a sharp tongue but a soft heart, ultimately couldn't bear to see her in such a pitiful state. He took the initiative to speak, "That I'm really no match for you." Shio gently covered her eyes, guiding her body to lean against him. Although the room was dark, the bright moonlight still recorded this warm moment. Just then, a light suddenly appeared behind the two of them. It was Cece who had come to deliver the wand. The two of them quickly separated upon seeing her. The scene couldn't have been more awkward. Every child has a fairy tale dream in their heart, and Shio was no exception. He was very curious if there were really witches in the old castle. Do witches ride brooms to travel the world? He heard that witches would help humans when they were in trouble. The witch looked at him and smiled faintly. Child, please tell me, do you want to see a witch? He gently pulled the witch's skirt. I do. But big sister, can you come down from the tree first? The witch thought for a moment. Big sister can grant you one wish. He looked at the pretty big sister in front of him and just wanted her to play with him. However, such a simple wish was rejected by the witch. The witch patted his head. I'm afraid that wish won't work. How about you make another one? The witch added a few more words. If you haven't thought of a wish yet, you can save it for later. I will definitely help you realize it. Unexpectedly, before the witch could finish speaking, the remaining branch broke. At the same time, he also woke up from the dream. Lying in bed, he couldn't help but mutter, "What a strange dream." As he got out of bed, he subconsciously supported himself with the cabinet next to him. Unexpectedly, the cabinet broke directly. What's going on? Is it damp? Why is it so soft? He sat on the bed again, his mind racing. What kind of excuse could he think of to avoid being scolded? Suddenly, the bed split in the middle with a loud crack. He was stunned at what's going on. Am I not awake yet? Why did both the cabinet and the bed collapse? He looked at his hands and suddenly realized something. Recalling the intimate interaction with Ryan yesterday, all the questions were answered. The magical power had been shared. He felt a continuous surge of power welling up inside his body. It seemed that in this game of love, Ryan had already lost. In a game where you can't have real feelings, his iron-like heart was destined for a great victory. He sat on the collapsed bed and began to think about lunch. Because today was Ryan's workday. On the other side, Ryan was in a meeting in the conference room. But at this moment, she was distracted. She hadn't heard a single word her boss said. It was all Shio's fault for saying so many sweet nothings yesterday, leaving her absent-minded all day. Seeing her daydreaming, the boss repeated what he had just said, that we must land this investor today. This is the last deal of the year. She quickly focused. Okay, boss. I'll go talk to the investor right away. The boss suddenly stopped her. With your current state, could it be that you're in a relationship? Before she could deny it, a blush of shame uncontrollably appeared on her cheeks. Perhaps due to a guilty conscience, her reaction was particularly exaggerated. Boss, what nonsense are you talking about? How could I possibly be in a relationship? The boss seemed to be gossiping, but was actually reminding her, if it's that kid you mentioned last time, then you're in for a tough time. Dating someone younger is very tiring, although she vehemently denied it. The look in her colleague's eyes already spelled out the answer. Meanwhile, Shio was holding a long shopping receipt and ingredients, preparing to go back to the castle to cook for Ryan. Suddenly, someone called out to him in a malicious tone. Well, if it isn't the neighborhood's guardian angel. When he saw those people clearly, he turned to leave. The alley punks, seeing him so unappreciative, directly blocked his path. Why are you turning away from me? Looks like you're doing pretty well now. He tried his best to control his temper. Move. Let me pass. I'm in a hurry to get home and cook. The punk couldn't help but laugh twice after hearing this. Home? You actually have a home? Aren't you an orphan? Where did you get a home from? The punk continued to look at him with a provocative gaze. Oh, right. I remember when I beat you up before. You were crying and shouting, which, say me. Although his face was expressionless, the anger in his heart was already burning fiercely. Even the shopping bag in his hand fell to the ground. He finally couldn't take it anymore and decided to teach the punk a lesson. He grabbed the punk's collar. Have you said enough? I won't hold anything else against you. But witches are real. He roared madly, as if to vent all the grievances he had encountered as a child. The punk still had that nonchalant look. See, I was right. This fool still believes there are witches in the world. He was relentless, gripping the punk's collar tightly and not letting go. Suddenly, a witch on a broomstick flew past in the sky. The witch was none other than Ryan. To find an investor, she had to use her broom in the city. The punk on the ground was already stunned. Wow, so beautiful. He quickly blocked the punk's view. What's there to see? That's not a witch. Witches don't exist at all. The punk looked at him with a puzzled expression. But you just said witches exist. You just made something up. That was a big bird that flew by just now. You must have seen it wrong. On the other side, Ryan, holding the project proposal, began to chase and intercept the investor. The investor's patience had run out. I'm not interested in your project. Stop following me. The investor couldn't figure out why she could find him no matter where he went. She noticed the investor's gaze and quickly put on a professional smile. She then solemnly handed over the project perfect proposal. This is our company's top investment plan. You will definitely like it after you read it. Sho looked at the hardworking Ryan, then at the punk in front of him. That was just a bird that flew by. Don't go spreading rumors. After warning the punk, he quickly picked up the ingredient from the ground and put them back in the bag. I have to hurry back and cook, or Ryan will be hungry for lunch. The punk didn't want to let him go yet and grabbed his arm. Did I say you could leave? Get back here. We haven't settled the score between us yet. The punk put one foot on the wall, completely blocking his path. Just then, he suddenly saw Ryan walk by. He was a bit puzzled, not understanding why Ryan had to be so subservient. The investor even rolled his eyes at her. Even if you talk until you're blue in the face, I won't agree. After saying that, the investor knocked the proposal out of her hand. The documents scattered in the air, blurring her vision. Sho, who witnessed all this, almost couldn't hold back the urge to beat up the investor. Unfortunately, the punk was still blocking his way. That I'll say it one last time move. The punk thought he was scared and immediately became smug. I see you're scared, aren't you? The punk had already made up his mind. As long as he obediently handed over his money, he would let him go. But ideals are beautiful, and reality is cruel. The punk was pinned against the wall by him, unable to move. He looked at the punk, his eyes devoid of any warmth. Can't you understand human language? I told you to move. The commotion on the side also caught Ryan's attention. He stood dominantly beside Ryan. What are you doing? Is it necessary to be so humble for this job? He grabbed Ryan's hand and led her away from there. It's his loss for not investing. There's no need to throw away your dignity to force it. The sudden turn of events left Ryan unable to react. Ryan quickly stopped and punched him. This is my year-end performance. If I can't close this deal, I'll be broke next year. The two of them went all the way to a convenience store. He looked at Ryan aggrievedly. Why don't we go home and eat? I bought fresh Crucian carp. If looks could kill, he would have been executed by Ryan several times over. Ryan was even starting to get used to this kind of life, because after meeting him, there were troublesome things to deal with every day. To appease Ryan, he immediately handed over a drink. Don't be angry. Have a drink first. But the next second, the drink was crushed in his hand, spraying straight into Ryan's face. Ryan was instantly furious. Are you trying to die? Are you in a hurry to reincarnate? The meal was a mess. To punish him, Ryan immediately decided to take him on another business run. After the two arrived at their destination, he was stunned by the scene before him. Are you sure your business partner lives here? Ryan was inexplicably nervous. If we can't reach an agreement, we'll kneel down together and beg the CEO to give us the funds. After he heard this, he refused without a second thought. In a way, I'm not helping with that. Seeing that he was unyielding, Ryan resorted to acting cute. Please? I don't want to be broke next year. Seeing that he remained unmoved, Ryan decided to settle for the next best thing. How about this? You just follow my lead. They made their way to the CEO's office, both still very nervous. After a few simple questions from the secretary, they were invited into the office. Just as he reached the door, he was shocked once again. This CEO's office is so big. He must be so rich. Ryan quickly reminded him that, I heard this CEO has a bad temper. You must talk less after you go in. The next second, Ryan switched directly into business mode. Hello, Mr. CEO. We've contacted you before. For a moment, the atmosphere fell into a strange silence. Ryan looked awkwardly at the other person's back. She felt a sense of familiarity. It wasn't until the chair turned around that she discovered the CEO in front of her was actually Charlie. Charlie himself hadn't expected to meet them in this capacity. Sure enough, the strange silence was now tinged with a bit more awkwardness. Charlie looked at them calmly, still undecided on which identity to speak with. He, being face-blind, was still trying to figure out who this Charlie person was. Ryan quickly told him he's Cece's contractor. You've met before. Charlie sat there, looking seriously at the two people who were still whispering. Suddenly, Ryan felt at her knees with a thud that, I beg you, please cooperate with our company. As soon as she finished speaking, Ryan also pushed him to the ground, forcing him to kowtow to Charlie. This was hard for him to accept for a moment. Why should I kneel to him? We are both contractors. Charlie also thought it made sense after hearing it. This guy is right. Get up. After all, a witch kneeling to a human doesn't sound good if word gets out. He immediately stood up and pulled Ryan's clothes. What did I tell you? Get up quickly. He hadn't been standing for 2 seconds before Charlie made him kneel again. He yelled, "Why do I have to kneel again?" Charlie replied nonchalantly, "Because my status is higher. Because I have money." Seeing the situation was not good, Ryan glared at him fiercely. "Shut up. Do you want to be broke?" For Ryan, for the sake of delicious meals, he could only swallow his anger. Charlie also got back to the point and talked about the proposal that "I've seen your plan. It's really terrible." Ryan lowered her head in disappointment. "All right, as expected, it's no good." Charlie suddenly changed his tune that "I can invest, but you have to do me a favor." He, at the side, had been kneeling for so long his legs were numb, wishing the meeting would end quickly. At this point, Charlie brought up Cece. Cece has lost her memories from several hundred years ago. She can't even remember how old she is. "I heard there's a potion in the magical world that can help a witch recover lost memories. As long as Ryan can find the potion, I'll agree to the investment." Ryan suddenly became a little curious. "Excuse me for asking, but why do you want to find Cece's memories?" Charlie thought for a while before answering that "I'm just curious how many exes she has." Her relationship history seems to be very rich. After leaving Charlie's company, Ryan couldn't wait to find Sunong. The good news was that Sunong really had the kind of potion Charlie mentioned, called the memory pill. After Sunong handed the pill to her, he didn't forget to tell her the instructions. Take it half an hour after a meal. Remember to use warm water. Just as Sunong was about to leave, she suddenly saw a backpack on his back. It turned out that the backpack contained none other than Sunong's contractor, Arthur. Due to the recent shedding season, and Sunong being allergic to dog hair, he had no choice but to resort to this. Speaking of which, Sunong seemed to have thought of something else and started rummaging through his backpack. Then, Sunong handed her another pill. This is called Oblivion. If Cece doesn't want to recall her lost past, she can just take this pill. After Sunong left, she looked at the pills in her hand and fell into deep thought. Since Cece chose to forget the past, it must have been a bad memory. Because a witch's life is too long, she herself had forgotten many things. In her memory, the most unforgettable thing was not what happened hundreds of years ago, but what happened 18 years ago in Count Lewis's castle. At that time, people had an indescribable sense of awe and fear towards witches. Everyone hoped that a witch could assist their family, but at the same time, they were afraid that the witch would bring disaster to the family. And the Lewis family was the last family she assisted. Due to the economic collapse and chaos, the once noble aristocrats had to accept the reality of their gradual decline. Even though she was a witch with magic, she couldn't change this situation and could only protect the descendants of the nobility from harm. Despite this, she still couldn't gain human recognition. Even riding her broom was forbidden by the butler. Living like this day after day, she could only find a trace of fun in her boring life. She had also complained, because ever since she came to the Lewis family, she hadn't even met the head of the family. She was really getting tired of this constrained life. She came to the backyard alone and saw a snowman that hadn't been cleared away yet. Feeling playful, she couldn't help but admire the snowman's noble beauty. She leaned in for a closer look. The snowman had a small rabbit apron around its chest. She slowly squatted down, carefully examining the snowman in front of her. Just then, a child rolled out from the snow. She was a little surprised because she had never seen this child before. The clueless child was looking at her with his big, innocent eyes. She quickly stood up. The snowman actually gave birth to a human child. The child, after hearing this, stood up unhurriedly, not forgetting to pat the snow off his body. Then he proudly patted the snowman that "I built this snowman myself. Auntie, do you want to play together?" Hearing the child's cute, childish tone, her heart completely melted. She suddenly noticed something was wrong. "Who are you calling, Annie?" "Call me Big Sister. I haven't even asked her name yet." The child stammered that his name was Tawanzi. She couldn't help but make a couple of sarcastic remarks that that even a name, but it does suit your appearance. She couldn't help but pinch Tawanzi's cheek. Just then, a voice came from a distance, startling her. "Let go of him, quick!" A woman held Tawanzi tightly in her arms, constantly comforting him. She suddenly realized that this couple was the head of the Lewis family and his wife. "Hello, I am the witch, Ryan." The lady looked at her with a wary expression that "I know you are a witch, but you can't just touch my child, can you?" Seeing her silence, the lady rebuked her again. "Human children are pure, and your magic will contaminate my pure child." Ryan looked at the closed gate, not knowing what she had done wrong. Despite this, she was still very concerned about little Tawanzi's condition. "Is little Tawanzi okay?" The maid in the castle thought for a long time before realizing that was the young master's name. The young master is fine. He is very well. Seeing the maid's hurried departure, it was as if she was avoiding a jinx. She couldn't understand why these people were so afraid of her. It's not like she would eat people. She mustered up her courage and found the head of the family. Little Tawanzi happened to be there too. When the head of the family saw her, he quickly apologized that I'm sorry, we were too nervous just now. Little Tawanzi was not contaminated by magic. The lady also felt very wronged that we have our own difficulties. Who's to blame that the witch has been delaying signing the contract? She finally understood after listening for a long time. The problem was still with the contract. She hurriedly waved her hands in refusal that I can't sign the contract. I really can't, because the person who signs a contract with a witch must be a single man, and he must be carefully selected. Speaking of the choice of a contractor, she was not only a little conflicted, preferably of royal blood, must have grace, and be able to make me happy. Although she was a witch, she also longed to live a happy life like a human. The head of the family sneered, "You are not human. What right do you have to desire these things that belong to humans?" The lady also began to mock her. A witch. If you want to live peacefully with us, you can only be our supporter from behind the scenes. She fell into an endless silence because she couldn't fight against this kind of prejudice. Otherwise, the world would fall into chaos. Little Tawanzi didn't understand why his parents were laughing. The big sister in front of him was clearly already very sad. Little Tawanzi noticed her disappointment and comforted her in his childish voice. "Mom, Dad, stop laughing. Big sister is crying." Although she wasn't shedding tears, she knew little Tawanzi was right, because her tears were all flowing in her heart. In that era, for a witch to survive in the human world, she had to choose a family to assist, and she happened to choose the Lewis family. However, when the old head of the Lewis family learned that she was unwilling to form a contract, he was furious. She was naturally not to be outdone. "That's right. Of course I'm not willing." The old head of the family was so angry he was practically bleeding from his orifices. "How could the magical world send a witch like you? You can scold me, but you can't scold the magical world. Listen here, old man. A witch can only sign one contract in her lifetime, unless I meet someone I like." She realized she was too emotional and tried to smooth things over. "Don't worry. Even without a contract, it won't affect my ability to protect you." To prove her strength, she casually snapped her fingers. The next second, the old head of the family suddenly felt that his legs, which had been paralyzed for years, had feeling. The skeptical old head of the family stood up from his wheelchair. Why goodness, my legs. I can actually stand up." She, acting as both benefactor and threat, immediately threatened. "Remember, I have the ability to protect you, and I also have the ability to destroy you. Don't push me anymore." Just as she was about to leave, the old head of the family suddenly stopped her. The old head of the family begged her to agree to one condition. "Please, you must protect my grandson. Don't let him get involved in the disputes." On the other side, little Tawanzi, who could barely speak in complete sentences, was looking at a fairy tale book. She suddenly jumped in through the window. "Little Tawanzi, are you already starting to recognize words?" The young little Tawanzi couldn't handle such a scare and almost fainted. She quickly apologized. "I'm sorry for scaring you. I just found out you were the old head of the family's grandson." However, little Tawanzi ignored her and continued to look at the storybook in his hands. She suddenly became interested. "What book are you reading? You can read so intently even though you don't know the words." Little Tawanzi looked at her with a curious face. "Big sister, are you really a witch?" She didn't know how to answer for a moment. After all, the identity of a witch was too awkward. Little Tawanzi complained with a hint of disappointment. "I knew you weren't. You can't do anything but cry." In little Tawanzi's world, there was no good or evil. He only knew that he really wanted to meet a witch, because he had a wish to make. She never would have thought that little Tawanzi's wish was actually related to her. "I wish that big sister would stop crying." Little Tawanzi had many other wishes, such as for his mother to spend more time with him, and for his father not to go on business trips so often. She couldn't bear to burst little Tawanzi's simple wishes. These wishes were simple to say, but difficult to realize. She hoped little Tawanzi could be happy forever, without worries or sorrows. She couldn't help but feel ashamed. Indeed, a child's world is both simple and pure. But she still comforted little Tawanzi. "I understand. I'll pass it on to the witch when I have the chance." However, little Tawanzi was very smart. He knew that the wishes he made could not be realized at all. But little Tawanzi kept pestering her to make wishes, and the wishes he made became simpler and simpler. Those simple wishes didn't require her magic at all. Remembering the happy past, she lay in bed and couldn't help but feel emotional. It would be great if I could see little Tawanzi again. I wonder how little Tawanzi is doing now after so many years. She thought about the growth rate of human children. Little Tawanzi must be very tall by now. Just as she was lost in thought, Shio came back with meat on sale. She quickly made a wish. I hope little Tawanzi doesn't grow up to look like Shio. After Shio put the meat in the kitchen, he entered the room and saw her smiling foolishly at the computer. It turned out that after she gave the 2 pills to Charlie, Charlie did not break his promise and agreed to cooperate with her. This meant that for a long time to come, they wouldn't have to eat discounted food. Shio looked at the numbers on the computer in surprise. Since his family's downfall, he had never seen so much money. She, who had worked overtime for 2 consecutive weeks, also finally showed a gratified smile. Shio saw her satisfied look and wanted to do something for her. But the thought of becoming a wage earner made the idea vanish in an instant. She didn't mind these things. After all, effort brings rewards. This was something Shio wouldn't understand. She was in a great mood and asked Shio to go to the cellar and get a bottle of red wine that let's celebrate properly tonight. Speaking of this bottle of red wine, she had bought it from a nobleman 100 years ago. When she talked about the process of buying the wine, she was so cheerful that it stunned Shio. But what shocked Shio even more was that she could remember things from over 100 years ago so clearly. She proudly told Shio, "Of course I remember. I didn't take the oblivion pill. I want to remember that little guy forever." Shio suddenly felt a little jealous. What kind of person was it that she hadn't forgotten for so many years? Shio curiously asked her who that person was. She said softly, "He is Tawanzi." But Shio's first reaction was to think that Tawanzi was a type of delicious food. She shyly lowered her head. Tawanzi is a person. He is the most beautiful being in this world. When thinking of Tawanzi, she excitedly raised her glass. "He is the best human I have ever met. He is the white moonlight of my heart." Hearing white moonlight, Shio's competitive spirit started acting up again. "I also have a white moonlight. I knew a neighborhood big sister when I was a child. She was gentle and beautiful." As soon as he finished speaking, Shio was already celebrating his victory in his mind. When it comes to white moonlights, I still win." She drank the red wine in her glass in one gulp. What's so great about being gentle and beautiful? Maybe your neighborhood big sister has become an old hag by now. Shio would not allow the white moonlight in his heart to be tarnished. "Nonsense. You're the old hag. You, an old which who has lived for who knows how many years." The phrase old which completely broke her composure. She suddenly lunged at Shio, trapping him in her arms. "Say that again if you have the guts." She fell directly onto Shio's lap. Drunk, she couldn't even speak clearly. She suddenly hiccuped and instantly lost consciousness. Looking at her flushed cheeks from the alcohol, she looked less sharp and more cute. A feeling called regret coiled in Shio's heart. I really shouldn't have argued with a drunk person. Shio directly held her in his arms. "Don't sleep here, or you'll catch a cold." She responded with a vague understanding, then turned her head and fell back asleep. She seemed to see little Tawanzi in her dream and happily talked in her sleep. "Little Tawanzi, come and give big sister a kiss." Unfortunately, her kiss did not land on Tawanzi, but on Shio's face. Shio's face instantly turned red. "Damn you, Tawanzi. I'm coming to assassinate you right now." The next day, the pills were delivered to Charlie's company by courier. He looked at the pills in his hand and couldn't help but feel conflicted. Just by taking this, Cece can recall the past. After much consideration, he still threw the 2 pills away. Just then, Ryan's head popped up. "Huh? Why did you throw the pills away?" He stared with wide, terrified eyes. "How did you appear here?" "This is the 11th floor." Ryan pointed to her broom. "Since you don't want Cece to regain her memory, you might as well look at these lists. They're all of Cece's exes." After Ryan handed him the documents, she got on her broom and prepared to leave. Unexpectedly, she, still hung over, fell directly from the broom. He, seeing this scene, immediately called Cece. "Remember to get a designated driver after drinking in the future. Definitely don't ride a broom." After hanging up the phone, the secretary had already called everyone related to Cece to the company, according to the list. The delivery guy was very confused that I only met Cece once. She was the one who kept wanting to be my girlfriend, but I refused her. her. He immediately felt something was fishy and quickly called the secretary. "Boss, all 180 of these people have only met Lady Cece once." He slammed the table in anger. "Investigate. Continue to investigate for me. I want to see just how many people there are." Ryan saw everything through the bat's eyes. Cece is so smart. To think she came up with this trick. It turned out that after Cece found out Charlie wanted to investigate her past, she directly produced a huge list. That old man Charlie. Did he forget that I'm the intelligence witch? Shio popped up out of nowhere, looking at Ryan and the bat with a curious face. He leaned close to Ryan. "What are you doing? Is this a peeping magic?" Ryan was startled and quickly pressed down on the bat. "That I'm not peeping. I'm monitoring. That fall just now almost broke my bones. It hurts so much. But what's the difference between peeping and monitoring?" The next second, his cheeks swelled up. "Is your head made of iron? Why is it so hard?" Ryan quickly took out the first aid kit, preparing to apply medicine for him. Seeing his sulky expression, Ryan had to soften her voice to coax him. "I'm sorry. Turn your face over quickly. I'll help you apply the medicine." As luck would have it, the new injury overlapped with the old one. Ryan took a look and ripped off the bandage on his face. "How come the two sides of your face are different sizes now?" Looking at his swollen cheek, Ryan suddenly thought of Tawanzi. This is hilarious. It's just like Tawanzi. Ryan took out a new bandage and stuck it on his face. All done. Perfect. Ryan collapsed on the bed and suddenly asked him a question. "Do you think it's possible to see someone again after not seeing or contacting them for over a decade?" He didn't need a guess to know that the person Ryan was talking about was Tawanzi. But the thought of Tawanzi made him unconsciously jealous. I knew it. The last clause of the contract was prepared for Tawanzi. Ryan quickly denied it after hearing this. "What nonsense are you talking about? How could I have improper thoughts about him?" Ryan even gestured Tawanzi's height. "Tawanzi is just a child. In my heart, he's only about this tall." He realized he had misunderstood Ryan. "All right, I apologize. Did you just ask me if you could see him again in the future?" He deliberately kept her in suspense. "I guess you won't be able to see each other again. Give up quickly." He saw the disappointment in Ryan's eyes and quickly added a few words. "I was just kidding. You'll have a chance to meet again in the future." Ryan's eyes instantly lit up. You really mean it?" He smiled faintly. "I wasn't kidding about what I just said. Perhaps one day in the future, two hearts that miss each other will meet again. Just like the young Tawanzi and the lovely, which spent a carefree time together." It was the first time Ryan had seen such a gentle side of Shio. She felt like her heart was about to melt. Suddenly, a bad premonition made her shout out. "Oh no." She clutched her chest tightly. "What's going on?" "I can feel the magical power inside me surging." Along with the surging magical power, there were also a series of symptoms, such as blushing and a racing heart. This was the first time she had ever felt this way. Little did she know, this feeling is called falling in love in the human world. Hearing the words falling in love, she instantly panicked. "Nonsense. How could I possibly like you?" Before she could finish her sentence, she kicked Shio again. "Get away from me." After all the bickering, she returned to her working person state. Looking at the point deduction message on her phone, she couldn't help but fall into deep thought. Her witch license had been deducted a full 6 points. After thinking for a long time, she finally remembered the reason for the deduction was that she was seen by a human while riding her broom. She warned herself in her heart, "I can't get any more points deducted this month, or my witch license will be revoked." Just then, she suddenly heard her colleagues discussing a team-building event, and the location for the team building was set at her house. Her face was filled with disbelief. "What are you talking about? You're coming to my house for a team-building event." For her, this was simply the biggest crisis in witch history.